back here at the pump house this morning. So today we got to finish up where we left off on the last video. Last video we got 2 rolls out on the ground. That's 1,800 feet. I lack a little bit right here, probably about 250 feet to get down here to the pump house building right out here behind me. You can't see it from here, but I can see it. The pipe's on the ground right there. So we got to hook on a new roll here behind me and run just a little bit out, enough to where I can get in to the back of the building and into the releaser. We'll get that out. Then we're going to fall back. We're going to go back up top, start putting in stainless steel connectors and hooking all those pipes together. And then we will put the wire sets on them, and then we'll start pulling them up tight. We'll see what we can get done today. Try to get this 2,100 feet up in the air, side tied back, and 100% complete. And this is the dry line. This is the high line of the two. You always want to do the high one first. I've tried to do the bottom one first because it's easier, but sometimes it becomes a pain in the butt. You can't route it, especially if you're going around trees and in between trees. So that being said, we're going to get the stuff together here. We'll head up there. We'll start getting this done. Here we go. Okay, so I didn't film it, but we got this other roll rolled out down past the pump house. So now we're making our first connection. We already got the stainless steel inside this. The fittings in here. I'm just tightening down the clamp. All right, clamps are tight. So this pre-lash stuff, I like this stuff. A lot of guys don't use it because they say they can't get it tight, but you can get this stuff tight. We pulled trees over. We got it so tight. So now these are the wire sets I talk about in my videos. Like I try to show you guys how to do it without being in the woods, but I'm going to show you. So these 2 wires, they go together and they'll fuse this wire end and this wire end together by taking half of this on this half of the wire and the other half on the other half. You put one on and then you run another one right down inside the other groove, and that's what holds this together. We can take the tool off now. It's not going anywhere. Set that right here quick. So this is what we got here. This is one end. So that's pretty close. I might have to trim just a little bit of that off. Bolt cutters are the best way to do this. This stuff is, I forget what gauge it is, but it's hard. So you want these pretty much butted up to each other. Take a little bit more off. There, see that right there? That's exactly what you're looking for. So then we'll take one half of this wire. It's got a mark on it. It's an orange mark, so that's halfway point. So you put that right here. Spiral it right around this main line wire. I would recommend using gloves for this because it's kind of got like some, I don't know what you want to call that stuff. It's like grit inside it, so it grabs this line. It's pretty nasty. By the end of the day, your fingers would be probably pretty sore if you didn't. So this one will go around this half right here. I got to back this clamp up. It's a little too close. What I'm doing is I'm holding tension with my left hand on this wire. This lashing wire, if it gets loose, it won't hold this main line up to that wire. It'll unravel on you. So these clamps, when you clamp this stuff, you want to clamp it right where the lashing wire goes over top of this wire. This one's off a little bit right now. That's pinch that lashing wire to the main wire. Main line wire won't go nowhere. So, all right, I got enough slack in this thing now. You got to have slack in these wire ends to be able to do anything. So now we'll take the other half of this right at that orange mark, and we'll go right around this side of it. And basically all this does is fuses the 2 wires together where you made the cut. That simple. There's one. Then you make the next one right here and you go right over it again, but you drop it inside the groove this time. Come right down around this side. And there you have it. That's finished product right there. That's one. So we'll pull this tight, and then we'll come back here later on and tighten this right down to the top of that pipe. So that's how you join a mainline wire in the woods. You can use gripples too, but I like this stuff here. It ain't pulling apart with one of them. So one down, we got to go up there and make another one of these connections, and then we'll be able to start pulling this pipe up. Okay, so we're up here at this, they call it an end tree. It's wherever you want to end a line and start a line. So we're going to show you how we do this. So we got to make a serious turn right here. So we're coming down straight. We basically got, instead of making a right angle, we got to make a left angle. So I'm going to anchor this main line right here around this tree, and then we're going to do the same thing with the other one, get it up tight, and then I'll make my pipe connection afterwards, because you can't really make the pipe connection now, or otherwise it'd 90 it right off when it pulls it tight. We got to sweep the pipe around and make a nice gradual turn. So we'll go over here, I'll show you how we do that. So this is backing here. This is what I put around the tree when we wrap the wire on the tree. In the last video I was explaining it. Well, I'm going to show you this time. Basically this pipe got kinked here, so we had to pull this back by hand far enough to where I had stuff to work to get it around the tree here. So we're going to cut this wire off right here, just like that. We finally got some rain here. It's been months. We got a couple inches. The trees need rain. So first thing we gotta do, we gotta put a clamp on here so we can cut that lashing wire off. Probably down in here someplace. Okay, once you get that on that lashing wire, then you can cut the lashing wire. Lashing wire is off, so now you want to gauge about how much of this you're going to get around the tree with, which I think we got plenty. Now we'll slide this backing over top of this. We'll go around the tree first. I gotta go grab a couple wire sets after I get this on here quick. This is what protects it from growing into the tree. A lot of guys on the internet say this will girdle the tree over time, which it probably will if you don't move this up and down every year, which we don't. So, I mean, I do like the J-hook method, it's faster. Okay, I got it. This is the dry line, so this has got to be probably right about where that ribbon is, roughly. So I got to get a couple wire sets quick. Back with the wire sets. We'll get this somewhere is roughly where it needs to be. Sometimes I'll put a nail under this to hold it up, which I didn't bring any nails. Then we'll bring it around. All right. First one I've done in a year. This takes a little practice to get back into it. So there's that one right there. I gotta see if I got a nail in there to hold this thing up. Something like there. All right, I got one more wire to put on that. Putting that second wire on right now. That one's done. I'm gonna see if I got a nail quick, and I'll put a nail to hold this up. This guy, what I like to do is I'll just pick it up like right there roughly. We'll put a nail behind it. That's just temporary. Put that nail right underneath that and I'll hold it in the air for us. So that side's done. Now we got to hook this other one right here around the tree again, but we're going this way with it. There we have it. We got this one up and around the tree. That went pretty quick, the second one, just like riding a bike. So this is how you attach to your entry. We got to make a connection here, hook the two pipes together, but what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll go to the other end of the tree and we'll pull this up tight as we can get it. We'll go down the pump house, we'll pull this side tight as we can get it, and then we'll side tie it in between. So this is the end tree, we got it anchored, and I'm not going to show you putting this together because we already showed you that down there, but we'll get this together and then we'll head up top. I got the old man getting in position with the wheeler here. What we got to do, we got to extend this winch out a good probably 20 feet past the tree here so we can grab on that wire, this mainline wire right here with my wire puller, and we can pull this line tight. So you got to be way out there with it, because if you start behind a tree, then you can't wrap this wire around the tree. We'll get him up in here, we'll get his winch out, and we'll get that hooked up. I gotta grab that wire puller. So this is what they call a wire puller right here. Right there, that guy. How this works, slide this forward. See that groove? This wire right here, your mainline wire sits right in this groove, and then the winch will go into this.
You can get it?
Just like that. So I gotta grab a couple tools. I gotta put another clamp here, and then I can undo this. We'll get him hooked to that, and then we gotta run back down the building, or down the pump house, and grab the rest of our side tying stuff. Basically you want to cut it close to the tree, that way you can relash it back up when you're all done pulling it around the tree. So pull this off. If you take this stuff off nice and easy, the way it's wrapped, it'll go right back in the same groove when you put it back on. I don't know how far this is going to pull. You want to make sure you get right on the very top of that so it's not going nowhere. There you go. That grabs that just like that. So now when we get on a wheeler, we can hit the winch and we can pull this. We'll pull this whole line right this way. So all right, that's all set to go. We got to run down and get some side tying wire. We'll be back. All right, we're gonna give this a little pull before we go down. So the old man's got the winch going. Might want to sit on that four-wheeler, hold your brakes. Usually we might have to tie off to the tree back there. We'll see. Probably pull a good 3-4 feet already. Stop.
I'm gonna have to go back up behind that tree.
Yeah, you're already losing. You're pulling you forward. We'll rehook this thing. A lot of times we'll put a tree against the front of the rack in here. He's got himself behind that tree up there. We're just letting out some more winch cable to get us back to where we were. We'll rehook this thing and then the four-wheeler won't move now. Sometimes we get pulling on these things so tight, we got to hook the rear rack or rear frame to a tree with a chain or a strap. So it's the only way you can get this stuff tight. Plus you're pulling a lot of footage. So, all right, I got to hook this back on here again. This wire puller. I like that right there. We're hooked back in right here. Do a little pulling on it, see what happens here. You got to play with this wire too so you don't kink it as he's pulling it. Yeah. Think that's enough or what? You got enough on it? That's good enough. Something just snapped. Probably bent your bar in. You fold your bar in on the rack. I wouldn't put your finger there. That comes out from underneath that four-wheeler's gonna go for a ride. Probably should wrap that around that tree now. That's not going anywhere. We'll go down below, get the wire to side tie everything, and then we'll check it out as we're going down the hill. It's a guessing game a lot with this stuff, so you don't want it loose, but you want it snug enough to where you can still pull it sideways. And we can't even pull it sideways right now, so we gotta let off quite a bit on this. You still letting off?
I let off some already.
Yeah, let some more off. All right, hold it right there for a sec. I'm gonna check this down here on this corner, see if I can pull it. Because I want to side tie to this big maple right here and this ash. Come off just a little bit more. All right, try that.
You want me to come get you and we'll wrap this around or what?
You still got good tension on that or not?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want to take too much off it, but I think we'll be all right. Don't.
There's tension on it, not a lot. You know, we got to pick it up. Once we pick it up, we're pretty tight.
I mean, I think it's going to tighten up. We got some serious tie backing to do. I think by the time you get done, it'll be real tight. Come down to get me. We're going to run down and get the wire, and then come back up and tie it around the tree, the end tree, like we did down below, and then we'll start side tying this thing. We got to pull it this way a lot on the inside, so that should tighten up. A couple years ago I made this tool to make life a lot easier for us unrolling this side tie wire. So basically I took a piece of 2-inch square tube and I drilled a hole into it, so this will go in the back of the side-by-side. And I found a piece of steel right here that would allow this to drop in it, like this. And then my spinner sits right on top of that. It's like this. Then you set your wire on the spinner. So now, wherever we want to side tie, we just pull up, grab onto this guy, walk it right out, cut it off. Saves a lot of messing around. This is pretty sweet, pretty easy to make. Like I said, a piece of 2-inch square tube. I did weld some brackets on it to hold that upright, but this works good for us. as long as this stays where it's supposed to stay. Sometimes this wire will get messed up and it becomes a problem, but not usually. Let's head back up top. We got this upper one around the tree now. I'll show you. Backing back in with 2 wire sets, just like down below. So now what will happen here is he'll back that tension off that winch and it'll stand up. Go ahead. Didn't have much on it. Huh. Usually they'll stand right up, but this will come right up as soon as we start side tying it. So I'm gonna unhook the winch, we'll go to side tying. Oh, another thing you can look for when you're doing your entry anchors, find the biggest tree possible. This is a pretty good size ash tree here. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I'd rather find a maple, but is what it is. So they always say you can't get this stuff tight. Let me tell you, you can get this stuff tight. We got the 4-wheeler over there behind a tree. I got the winch stretched out. I like using an axle strap around the pipe. I'll show you. Wrap this right around here like this. Drop it right in. Trust me, you can get this stuff as tight as you want. So now I'll go back there on the 4-wheeler and pull it as tight as I want. And we'll get some backing. We got the wire here set up, and we'll pull it back. Touching on something right there, stump.
Dirt. It'll pull right through it.
Huh?
It'll pull right through it. It's just dirt.
I'll put a little bit more tension on it, so we'll pick it up on that tree right there. So this is how you do it. You just slowly work your way down the hill. So this will stand right up here in a minute. We'll grab a piece of wire, some backing. If you can just imagine something straight, and then you pull it this way, and you pull it this way, this way, all the way down, and by the time you get down there, this thing ain't going nowhere. So the old man's over there getting some backing. We'll tie a side tie right here around this, right here, the first one, and right around that tree, and we'll be good to go. So you always want to try to stay square with your corner here. So we'll put one in like right here. I forget what gauge wire this is, but you want to use heavy duty stuff for this, otherwise it'll unravel. And I always spiral it one way, then I'll come back over it the opposite direction. Something like that. Because these have all the tension. This is what's holding your line up. Good thing to carry is a flathead screwdriver, because this wire gets so tight against this pipe. This will help me pry that wire up so I can get the side tie wire underneath it. All right, I'll show you what we got here. It's good. Okay, so now you can see it's up off the ground here. That's how you side tie right there. And the more we do this, the tighter it gets. So we'll go down below here and we'll pull it back the other way. One thing you gotta watch is this wire on top. You always wanna keep that on top, best you can. We'll continue down the hill. Down here on the next spot, and this one we're actually pulling the other direction now. So that's what you wanna do. So the first couple up above, we're going this way. This one we're going this way with right here. So I'm going to show you how far you can pull this pipe. Go ahead, you can pull it. Touching this tree right now. That's good. Just pulled it probably 5 feet away from that tree over there. This stuff, as long as you got the right equipment, you can pull this stuff as tight as you want. So we'll put a side tie on it right here. Note to self, when you're pulling this stuff, do not stand on the other side of that line. Because if that breaks off right there or something happens, you're going to get it. It's probably not going to feel very good. Now, unfortunately, I got to stand over here to make the connection, so let's hope it don't come apart. So the green ribbon's where a sub main is going to tie into the mains here. So I'm gonna show you a little trick here. When you have the winch, like if you want to raise your line up, you can't muscle it. Just suck it in towards the tree a little bit more. We'll give it slack. We'll raise it up the tree. Go ahead.
In?
In. All right. All right, let that out. See how it stands right up nice, about shoulder level. I'm 6 foot, so just gotta be careful we don't get too high here because we gotta tie in. We gotta tie in a sub main going out through there for the tree, so we might actually have to pull that back down when it comes time a little bit. Well, side tying is pretty easy when you got the right stuff. Sometimes we can't get the wheelers on it. We got to do it with a come along, which we got a spot down there we got to do like that, but this is the only way to do it right here. Go down below, we got to pull it to the inside again because we're up against a tree right there. Go down, hit that one next. Down here on the bottom, and we got a tree that we're going to cut down here. So this tree right here is pretty well dead anyways, but it's got pretty good friction against our main line here. So if we cut this off, it'll let our main line go back because we got to get it out of the way of the road here. So the only way is going to cut this down quick. All right, don't drop it on the wheeler. Now all we gotta do is just pick this up a little bit right here. It'll jump right over top of that stump. We're good to go. Just like that, right where it needs to be. Nice straight shot right up through here. All right, we'll go up here. We got one more side tie left to put in it, and I think this 900 feet is good to go. So back down here to the anchor tree again, where our next one's going to the pump house. So this line we've got is 100% done. All up, all side tied and nice and tight. I'll show you as we go back up the hill. Show you that, and then we'll start working on the bottom line. New day back in here this morning. Yesterday we ran out of time there in the afternoon. I had some stuff I had to go to. This morning we have a soccer game at 1 o'clock, so we're back here on this second half. We had 2,000 feet out. We did that 900 foot section yesterday, so this morning I'm anchoring up this other 900 foot, which comes from that anchor tree up there where you saw us working yesterday, all the way down to right behind the pump house, right here behind me. So down here I anchor them with a J-hook. And in one of the videos, the Q&A videos, I talked about how they work. Well, I will show you exactly how they work here. So we're gonna put a J-hook in this ash tree behind me. We'll show you how we go about doing that, and how we anchor that main line wire around that. So let's get after it. We got only a few hours to get it done here. So right here at this spot, I already have things kind of ready to go here. I already removed the wire off the pipe down there. It's right here. It's just hanging down here. So right here is how you anchor these into a J-hook. Your wire comes down, you wrap it around it, and then you use the wire sets to fuse it from that piece back to this piece. So we got to put a J-hook in up here. This is going to be the dry line for that new section, just above this dry line, and then this wet line will be between the two. We'll show you how we do that. We're going to drill a hole first. We'll get this J-hook in there, and then we'll turn it in with a bar. I usually use a bar on these, so let's get after it. So I've been working at this. We're set up now, so can't get the side-by-side up in here down here at this end tree, so this is how I have to do this. I have to do it with a come along. It's not how I like to do it, but sometimes that's all you can do. Here's my setup. I got my come along attached to a heavy-duty strap going around a tree. The key is with this, make sure this is above the hook, because if you get it down here, you're never going to be able to take your wire here and get it around that hook and back to itself. All I got to do now is start ratcheting this thing up. I got my pipe up over the top of that one. Really what you got to pay attention to when you're pulling stuff is this wire here doesn't get kinked anywhere. Let's do some ratcheting. Wear a man's arm out doing this. You can see it's starting to come up now. You see my wire puller right there. Just keep an eye on this wire. See, this wire has to come right down through. It'll come right up through and wrap right around this hook and right back to itself. Gonna end up running this all the way in, and hopefully it's tight enough. Another thing I can do too is wrap another strap around a tree above this one with my other come along and my other wire puller and get another grip and pull again. Whew, let's take a look at this right here. So we're almost bottomed out here on the come along. I've only got about, what, 3 inches, 4 inches to go there. So you can see the line, we're pulling it up right here. This is important here. You want to make sure you get your pipe where it needs to be, which I know it's got to go above those. So I started fishing it over the top of this one already. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop on the wheeler quick, walk back, make sure nothing's holding this pipe up, get it up. Hopefully it'll hold itself. We'll see how the tension looks. And then we'll come back and tighten this up a little bit more if we have to. Just walked out 900, probably about 1,000 feet actually. Picked that line up, moved it over. I think it's tight enough for my liking. I ended up putting another ratchet on it. I didn't video it, so I had 2 of these ratchets going to pull this tight. Now I'm gonna take this wire right here, bring it right down, and wrap it right around this. We're gonna cut a bunch of it off and hook it right back to itself. So this will drop in here just like this. This is going to be about impossible to try to film this and do it at the same time, so you get the gist. This wire comes down, we go right around this hook. I'm going to cut a chunk of this off, so this dead end will be like right about back into here, and then we'll hook the wire sets around it. If you were watching, I did a pretty good video on the other ones up there where you can see how it's done, so we'll get this done here quick. I apologize, I just couldn't video it and do it at the same time, unless I had a head mount, which I do have one, but I can't find it. But I'll show you this before I put the second wire on, so I think you can get a pretty good idea. So here's the wire coming down around. I bent it around the drive hook, the J hook, whatever you want to call it, back, and I cut it off right where my finger is the actual end of the wire. See, so you butt it up to the piece coming down. So you take half this and you put it on half that, and the other half goes on the other half that. So that's how you fuse these 2 wires together, because this end's cut off. So I got to put one more on top of this, and then I can let my come along off, and then I can use it, and then we'll start going up. We'll start side tying. I hope that helps you guys. I hope you, you know, for some of you first timers, hopefully this is showing you how you do this stuff. We are making real good progress. So I'm right here where my roadway cuts up into the woods. Right here, comes right up. So I had to span this really high here. So as you can see, I got a tie back right here. Step ladder set up. I got a tie back right here going around the backside of the tree. What I like to use a lot of times is a galvanized nail. You'll see it right here. You'll see it right here on the backside. That'll help hold your tie back wire up, because sometimes you got to pick up on it or down on it. So sometimes putting a nail in the bottom of the tree like that or in the top holds it up nice. But we're making good progress here. I got to carry this really high here because I got to get under it with a side-by-side to get up in the woods. You always need a step ladder in the maple woods. Don't forget your step ladder too. So this one's up, it's side tied right here, and it's side tied right there. We'll take a walk down below and I'll show you where we're at. But yeah, here's my other side tie right there. Little stub guy worked pretty good to help hold the pipe up. We got a big tie back to do right up here. This will tighten this thing right up big time. So you can see how it's coming down to the ground. The reason being is your grade always is rolling, you know, so some places it might touch, some places it might be off the ground, but we got a big tie back to do right there on that tree and this tree right here. So we got to pull this pipe's got to get pulled back a good 6 feet right here. Once we get that pulled back and up to those trees, this thing's gonna be pretty well suspended all the way to the pump house. So haven't been filming, been working. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. Beautiful day. It was sunny, almost got to the point of being hot, but it's nice now. So you can kind of see what we got going on here. You see the new line up there, it's kind of coming down and it's dropping. So we got to get this up above the other ones keep on working on it. Another one down. We're gaining. Only got about 3 more. We'll be down to the pump house. All right, that's going to be it for today. I've got 2 more spots to tie that back, and that about 1,000 feet's done there. We'll be 100% done with the dry line from the top all the way down to the building. I just got to drill a hole through the wall and stick it in. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching.